Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Sir Altaf Saab. Alhamdulillah, it's privilege always to act and talk about academics. And today's the topic is therapeutic advances in the management of acid-related diseases. Acid-related diseases have always been a challenge for health workers across the globe. And it was initially revolutionized the pathogenesis when the concept of Helicobacter pylori was identified. And since then, whatsoever therapy is advised for acid-related disorders, it is seen what is its role in eradication of Helicobacter pylori. So we'll first have introduction, then prevalence, guidelines, product profile about, and clinical evidences. I'll not be reading all the slides. It will be sort of interactive and open talk. Gastroesophageal reflux disease occurs when stomach acid flows back into esophagus. We all know the main symptom being heartburn. And along with it, it is typical GERD as well as atypical GERD. The general symptoms include heartburn, which I mentioned, then bad smell, then regurgitation of food. These are the common symptoms. And then there are atypical symptoms, which includes irritation of the upper respiratory tract, in fact, upper respiratory tract leading to tracheobronchitis, asthmatic symptoms, and sometimes we treat wrongly these symptoms as upper respiratory, while in fact they are related with the acid. Dental caries, hoarseness of voice, these are all the manifestation of direct and indirect symptoms of GERD. And then there are complicated symptoms, which include dysphagia, Barrett's esophagus. These are the complicated symptoms of gastroesophageal reflux disease. And how do we define? Basically, ACG, the American College of Gastroenterology guidelines, define GERD as symptoms or complications, which I already mentioned, resulting from reflux of gastric contents into the esophagus or beyond, into the oral cavity, including larynx and or lungs. यानी कि हमारे लिए इस चीज़ को आइडेंटिफाई करना ज़रूरी है कि हमने डिस्क्रिमिनेट करना है कि ये अगर एक पेशेंट को रेस्पिरेटरी सिम्टम है तो कहीं इसके पीछे कोई रिफ्लक्स तो नहीं पड़ा हुआ. And then on endoscopic examination, the reflux can be without erosions, in which case it is called non-erosive reflux disease or NERD. Or it can be with erosions, that is erosive reflux disease or ERD. There is another term which is called CRD, that is complicated reflux disease, which already mentioned, CRD. Now, Helicobacter pylori, it occurs when Helicobacter pylori bacteria infects our stomach. Okay? Or the concept of stomach as sterile environment has had its days since 80s and 90s. Helicobacter pylori was when identified, in gut, the global and the best journal in gastroenterology. There was an article labeled as the Villian Unmasked. That was the article labeled as the Villian Unmasked. उसका कॉन्सेप्ट ये था कि जो जितने भी एसिड रिलेटेड डिसऑर्डर्स हैं ना, इसकी वजह पकड़ी गई और उन्होंने हेलिकोबैक्टर को विलियन कहा था. जी, विलियन अनमास्क. ठीक है. एंड सिंस देन हेलिकोबैक्टर पाइलोरी इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल most of the times for majority of the diseases related with GI tract.
Australian doctor थे वो लोग.
बिल्कुल. Professor Lee and another couple of doctors, Marshall was, and he was later on awarded Nobel Prize for that. So And the acid-related disorders, obviously, they include GERD, they include peptic ulcers, and Helicobacter pylori plays a role in both. If you talk of prevalence of GERD in United States, it ranges from 18.1% to 27.8%. In European Union, it ranges from 8.8% to 25.9%. And prevalence of Helicobacter pylori infection and peptic ulcer worldwide. Helicobacter pylori infection is one of the most common chronic bacterial infections in humans, affecting approximately 4.4 billion people worldwide, with prevalence of 28 to 84% in different populations. अब आप देखें कि कितना ज़्यादा फ़र्क है 28 से लेके 84% तक. In fact, Helicobacter pylori affects more than half of the world population. हम इस वक्त अगर यहाँ फ़र्ज़ करें 25 अफराद बैठे हैं तो more than half of us, यानी कि 15-16 कम से कम अभी आप करके देख लेते हैं Helicobacter pylori पॉजिटिव. बिल्कुल. बट एवरीवन डज नॉट नीड टू बी ट्रीटेड. तो क्या वजह है फिर किसको ट्रीट करना है, किसको नहीं ट्रीट करना और कैसे ट्रीट करना है, कितना अच्छा ट्रीट करना है. दीज डिपेंड अपॉन सिम्टम्स and identification of exact lesion caused by Helicobacter pylori. Globally, peptic ulcer disease affects approximately 4.6 million people annually. Developed countries में prevalence different है, developing countries में prevalence different. And it is related with habits, status of the sewerage, quality of meals, crowdedness like tuberculosis. क्राउडेडनेस, अगर एक घर के एक कमरे में 7 अफराद रहते हैं तो उनमें बिल्कुल उनमें फिर ये ओवर क्राउडेडनेस से ज़्यादा रिस्क हो सकता है. दिस इज हेलिकोबैक्टर पाइलोरी एंड इट इज, एज आई ऑलरेडी मेंशन, द स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ डिजीजेस कॉज्ड बाय हेलिकोबैक्टर पाइलोरी रेंजेस फ्रॉम नॉन अल्सर dyspepsia to acute gastritis, then chronic gastritis, then peptic ulcer, gastric ulcer, duodenal ulcer, gastric malignancy and mild lymphoma. ये है एक इसकी वाइड रेंज. और मोस्ट थ्रेटनिंग कॉम्प्लिकेशन इज mild cell lymphoma और gastric malignancy. And that is why it has been the eye catcher. It was eye catcher of researchers from late 80s to 2000 and 2000, early 2000, when hepatitis C took over the focus of attention globally, and then the world was after hepatitis C, क्योंकि इंटरफ्रॉन आ गए और सारा वो फिर सारी फोकस, दैट वाज एंटायरली डिफरेंट बॉल गेम. ये तो एक दवाई थी, वो इंजेक्शन से और वो इंजेक्शन के साइड इफेक्ट थे, and focus diverted altogether to hepatitis C for next about 1.5 decades till direct acting antiviral drugs जो कि hepatitis C की tablets होती हैं, non interferon based treatment और interferon free era के. So this Helicobacter pylori is a challenge. और इसमें बहुत सारी बातें हैं कि इसको कौन सा टेस्ट करना है, क्या कौन सा हमारे पास है, हमने अपने सिस्टम में क्या करना है. Having said that, prevalence of GERD, peptic ulcer and Helicobacter pylori in Pakistan. In Pakistan, about 24% of population is suffering from GERD. And Pakistan spent nearly 27 billion Pakistani rupees annually for acid-related disorders, which is a huge amount. And among peptic ulcer disease patients, prevalence of infection with Helicobacter pylori vary to 92% in Pakistani population. ठीक? As regards severity of satisfaction status, 1,000 patients and physicians survey in United States revealed that patients were dissatisfied with PPI in 35.4% of times. And physicians, not only patients but also physicians, they were dissatisfied with PPI about 34.8% of cases. Now, we all use proton pump inhibitors, and the things which lead to few of the issues, including PPI. They include slow onset of action, insufficient duration of acid control, which may result in nocturnal heartburns and postprandial heartburns. Doctors have already mentioned the list: antacid, then H2 blockers, and PPI, and then a generation of PPIs, omeprazole, lansoprazole, and everything. Still, you all know, we all know that in 100% of patients, the treatment is not there. So, unmet needs of patients with proton pump inhibitor treatment. These have been the few concerns which we all know. Heartburn and regurgitation not relieved about 40% of patients. Patient use twice daily PPI 22%. Requiring addition of another antacid with PPI about 42%. Now, the revolutionization in the management of acid-related diseases. If we start from omeprazole 1991, then lansoprazole 2002, then esomeprazole, rabeprazole, dexlansoprazole, and then now PCAB in 2021. We are all well versed about and with treating with all these proton pump inhibitors till dexlansoprazole. हम इनको PPI कहते हैं, क्यों कहते हैं? प्रोटॉन पंप इनहिबिटर है, ठीक है ना. PPI is also called hydrogen potassium ATPase inhibitor. Hydrogen potassium ATPase inhibitor. Hydrogen potassium ATPase is also called proton pump. ठीक. Hydrogen potassium ATPase is an acid secreting enzyme present in parietal cells and is inactivated by PPI. Now, vonoprazan is a potassium competitive acid blocker, PCAB, potassium competitive acid blocker, mainly acts on at the level of potassium to inactivate the production of hydrochloric acid. So, vonoprazan is a potassium competitive acid blocker, inhibits acid secretion by competitively blocking availability of potassium. ये इसका मेन फर्क है. ब्लॉकेट blocks potassium to hydroaryl ATPase, and hence it leads to ultimate objective is acid suppression. Basically, proton pump inhibitors are also acid suppressant. These are also acid suppressant, and they competitively block potassium channels. Now, अगर आप बात करें कि are there few limitations of PPI or there are no limitations of PPI, and are there some advantages of PCABs? Pro-drug need acid for activation, but active drug is unstable in acid. अगर आप PPIs की बात करें, they need activation, and this PCAB is already an activated drug. It needs no activation and is stable in acid environment. PPI's half-life is less than 2 hours, and in case of PCABs, it is more than 7 hours. Right? There is reversible binding with active pumps and inactive pumps with slow dissociation rates. Meal required for activation 1 hour before meals. हाइड्रोपोटाशियम जो प्रोटॉन पंप हैं, इनके लिए आपको हमें PPIs को 1 घंटा पहले प्रेफरेबली देना पड़ता है, बिकॉज मील इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर एक्टिवेशन ऑफ डोज. In case of PCABs, we do not really need meal dependency. These 2 or 3 factors, they ultimately the outcome is that they result in case of, for example, PCABs, there is rapid onset of action and there is potent acid control. Rapid and potent acid suppression. And this makes, we all know that we sometimes need proton pump inhibitors on BD dosage, 20 milligram OD, then depending upon indication, then 40 milligram OD, then 40 milligram BD as well. So they have got a better, reliable 24 hours activity comprising of acid suppression. These drugs are indicated for the treatment of acid-related diseases including GERD, reflux esophagitis, erosive esophagitis. दोनों में तीनों में फर्क आ गया. Peptic ulcer, gastric ulcer, duodenal ulcer, and Helicobacter pylori eradication. इनका रोल हेलिकोबैक्टर पाइलोरी की रेडिकेशन में भी है. Vonoprazan shows its inhibitory effect on gastric acid secretion via inhibiting hydrogen potassium ATPase. Maximum plasma concentration at 1.5 to 2 hours after oral administration. Food has minimal effect on its intestinal absorption, and protein binding is about 80%. Now, dosage. Apart from Helicobacter pylori eradication, Helicobacter pylori eradication strategy, they are generally given in OD dosage. This one of them. अगर reflux esophagitis है 20 milligram a day for 4 to 8 weeks. अगर maintenance of healing esophagitis है, सिर्फ ट्रीट करना मकसद तो है ही है, लेकिन उसको सस्टेन करना भी मकसद. जैसे मिसाल के तौर पे स्मोकिंग है, आप किसी भी बीमारी का नाम ले लें, आप डायबिटीज़ का ले लें, आप इस्केमिक हार्ट डिजीज़ का ले लें, आप केपीडी का ले लें, गर्ड का ले लें. अगर हम स्मोकिंग करते रहेंगे तो उसकी जो इफेक्ट ऑफ मेडिसिन जो भी है, दैट विल बी शॉर्ट लास्टिंग, दैट विल नॉट बी लॉन्ग लास्टिंग, एंड रिस्क ऑफ रिकरेंस विल बी हाई. ठीक है ना. तो ये एक तो ट्रीट किया आपने एसोफेजाइटिस को, दूसरा का ये भी हमारा मकसद है कि ये मेंटेन रहे. तो मेंटेनेंस ऑफ हीलिंग एसोफेजाइटिस 10 milligram a day. Gastric ulcer 20 milligram once a day for about 8 weeks. Duodenal ulcer 20 milligram once a day about 6 weeks. Prevention of NSAID induced ulcer 10 milligram once a day. It commensurates with the duration of NSAID which you are taking, which you are advising to the patient. And then Helicobacter pylori eradication 20 milligram BD as a part of triple regime, 1 week and sometime up to 2 weeks. अब हम ये जो बातें कर रहे हैं कि आज के पीछे कोई एविडेंस भी है कि बस ऐसे ही. Vonoprazan demonstrated faster and more potent acid control versus PPI. Acid inhibitory effect of Vonoprazan 20 milligram compared with esomeprazole 20 milligram. अब ये बात कर रहे हैं एसिड कंट्रोल की. ठीक है. रिजल्ट क्या आया कि एसिड इनहिबिटरी इफेक्ट ऑफ Vonoprazan was greater for Vonoprazan versus esomeprazole. अगर इसको एसोमेप्राजोल से कंपेयर किया गया तो इसका 24.6% बेटर आया एसिड सप्रेशन इफेक्ट.
लेकिन इसमें एसोमेप्राजोल की डोज कम दी गई है.
हाँ जी,
जो ऑप्टिमम डोज है वो 40 मिलीग्राम एसोमेप्राजोल.
बिल्कुल ठीक है, 40 मिलीग्राम है. और इसमें बट दिस इज द स्टडी विच वाज हेड टू हेड ट्रायल जो हुआ इनका. इसी तरह अगर आप बात करें रैपिड एंड पोटेंट एसिड कंट्रोल की, तो Vonoprazan demonstrated faster and more potent acid control versus proton pump inhibitors. It was mentioned and published in Elementary Pharmacology and Therapeutics in 2015. ये ऊपर का आप देख रहे हैं कि this is Vonoprazan and this is esomeprazole. Faster and more complete heartburn relief faster and more complete relief of heartburn relief as a manifestation or symptom of GERD. I'll not read the methods, how are the results. That heartburn was completely relieved in vonoprazan 31.3% of patients, then lansoprazole 12.5% of patients on day 1 respectively, but this is only on day 1. So we need to talk on longer term basis, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, then 6 months, 1 year, long term follow up. Better heartburn relief with vonoprazan versus proton pump inhibitor. Vonoprazan demonstrated a faster time to complete heartburn relief. Then अगर आप इसको कंपेयर किया था lansoprazole से, and this complete relief was most pronounced for night time heartburn. This is attractive because patient who is suffering from heartburn, he desires that the symptoms should get relieved. So it had faster relief. And then after these, the healing rate in erosive esophagitis. The proportion of patient with healed erosive esophagitis up to 8 weeks, longer duration, 8 weeks was 99% for vonoprazan and 95% for lansoprazole, thus verifying the non-inferiority of vonoprazan. नई ड्रग के साथ ये भी होता है कि जो स्टैंडर्ड ड्रग चल रही हैं, जो एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड ड्रग्स हैं, उनसे अगर सुपीरियर नहीं तो कोई बहुत इन्फीरियर तो नहीं है. तो दिस वाज द आउटकम. And another good thing which I was earlier mentioning, there was minimal recurrence of erosive esophagitis. Maintenance of healed erosive esophagitis, comparing vonoprazan with lansoprazole. I will read conclusion. Vonoprazan was shown to be non-inferior to lansoprazole 15 mg at both investigated doses. And regarding erosive esophagitis, this the vonoprazan, okay? Depending on dose, 20 mg, 10 mg, 15 mg, it showed minimal rates of erosive esophagitis. Now, coming to eradication of Helicobacter pylori. After talking about this, coming to eradication of thank you very much. Coming to Helicobacter pylori, vonoprazan, a novel potassium competitive acid blocker. So it is a potassium competitive acid blocker as a component of first and second line triple therapy for Helicobacter pylori eradication. It was found that it was good to use Helicobacter vonoprazan in Helicobacter pylori eradication therapy. And this was this article was published in Gut. It further mentions that the first line eradication rate was 92.6%. And this study was, I already mentioned that it was published in GERD. The first line eradication rate was 92.6% with vonoprazan, which is quite encouraging, versus 75.9% with lansoprazole, with the difference being 16.7% in favor of vonoprazole, thus confirming the non-inferiority of vonoprazan. The eradication rate was significantly higher with vonoprazan compared with lansoprazole in those patients infected with clarithromycin resistant strains. Helicobacter pylori को ट्रीट करना कोई इतना आसान काम नहीं रह गया हुआ. ठीक है, it's not like that कि हमने eradication दी और वो ठीक हो गया. तो आप देखें कि इनमें क्लेरिथ्रोमाइसिन रेजिस्टेंट पेशेंट में भी इसका वोनोप्राज़ैन के साथ भी 82% था, उसका 100 या वो 95% नहीं था. The second line eradication rate was also high. It was good, 98%, in those who received second line therapy. So, in all patients, better eradication of Helicobacter pylori infection, 93%, in vonoprazan group as compared with the esomeprazole as a part of triple therapy. So, based upon these articles which published in various journals, and including this one which I am showing you in gut, vonoprazan is effective as part of first line triple therapy and as part of second line triple therapy in Helicobacter pylori positive patients with a history of gastric or duodenal ulcers. This we have already talked. This is just a detail. 650 Helicobacter pylori positive patients with history of gastric or duodenal ulcers were assigned to first line triple therapy with amoxicillin, clarithromycin and either lansoprazole or vonoprazan. यानी कि ये ग्रुपिंग की गई थी कि पेशेंट्स को एमोक्सिसिलिन, क्लैरिथ्रोमाइसिन जो कि हम स्टैंडर्ड यहाँ पे भी देते हैं, ठीक है ना, तो उन्होंने एक ग्रुप में लांसोप्राजोल और वोनोप्राजैन दिया था, ठीक, और जो आउटकम आए वो आपको बताया था। और दूसरा, अगर पेशेंट फेलिंग फर्स्ट लाइन थेरेपी, क्योंकि हेलिकोबैक्टर पाइलोरी रीइंफेक्शन इज कॉमन, ठीक, तो उनको फिर सेकेंड लाइन थेरेपी में वोनोप्राजोल, एमोक्सिसिलिन एंड मेट्रोनाइडाजोल इस कॉम्बिनेशन के तहत और दिया गया था। एंड इट वाज नॉन इंफीरियर टू लांसोप्राजोल बेस्ड थेरेपी, क्योंकि हेड टू हेड ट्रायल तो पीपीआई का इसके साथ था ना जी, एंटीबायोटिक्स तो दोनों सिमिलर थी दोनों ग्रुप्स में। एंड इन एडिशन टू थेरेप्यूटिक एस्पेक्ट्स there was no significant difference in adverse effects. As regards safety profile, 6,683 subjects received vonoprazan in clinical studies. No dose-related mentionable increase in adverse events was observed. More than 23 million patients already received vonoprazan since launched. So, briefly, summary: rapid onset of action. It has got rapid onset of action. Potent acid control. Durable 24 hours activity. Controls nocturnal heartburn and breakthrough. Can be taken with or without food and has got better safety profile. अब ये कितना अच्छा है ये डिसाइड आपने करना, ठीक है ना। वो अल्ताफ सनहाली ने कहा था ना कि है जुस्तजू के खूब से है खूब तर कहाँ, अब ठहरती है देखिए जाके नज़र कहाँ। तो ये नज़र का कहाँ ठहरती है, जाके कब ठहरती है, nobody else other than you can be the judge. We are here to share information with each other. Experience is going to tell. ठीक है, तो दिस इज द स्पॉन्सर्स मैसेज।